hot and techie Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
Approaching the halfway mark in IPL 2024, and just the one win separates the team in second from the team in eighth. Two of those teams now face each other twice over the next 5 days, which means it's a big 5 days coming up for Lucknow Super Giants and Chennai Super Kings. The first of those meetings takes place at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow this evening. Welcome to Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout. We build up to that game in the company of Wasim, Jaffer, Mitch McClenaghan, and we welcome back Tom Moody. Good to have you back, Tom.
It's good to be back.
In your absence, Mitch has made hay while you were away.
I'm sure he has.
A hat-trick of wins on our impact zone, and you can see him beaming.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've grown 2 inches as well. Yep, I'm feeling good. Feeling really confident, actually. I'm going to bring the luck from that chair over to the middle of the couch.
Yeah, it surprised me that he took that chair because he was dabbling with perhaps sitting there because it's been working better for him.
So we're sort of dealing with superstitions now, are we? So
Now, sometimes you just need a couple of performances to get some confidence. And then
You're away.
You're away.
You're away.
You know how it works.
Yep, you've got the whip cracking.
Yep, 100%.
Wasim, good evening to you. Impact zone, Mitch has been leading, but you're cracking some outrageous predictions.
I did, but I need to get better.
Oh, toughen yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you wind of that points table in a bit, but let's focus on the other points table first. Lucknow and Chennai both are in the top half as things stand. It is a bit of a jam. You look from Kolkata right up to Gujarat. It's just 2 points separating all those teams. A win for Chennai sees them go closer to Rajasthan. If Lucknow lose, they start getting bunched together with that bottom, which is where you don't want to be at this stage. We are now firmly into that territory, Mitch, where the points table starts playing on your mind.
Yeah, it definitely does. It has every result starts to have its own permutations, and I think most teams out there who are below or outside the top four will be hoping Lucknow can get up over Chennai. It just opens up those bottom two spots a little bit more, and those guys, those teams that are on six, they're only 2 points behind a whole bunch of teams in their top four.
Right. Let's start by focusing on Lucknow's batting because it has hurt them in the last couple of games. They had defeats at home to Delhi and away to Kolkata, and in both outings they made just about 160. You've not seen De Kock and Rahul fire together in the same game. Their number 3 has been a constant problem so far, 33 runs in 6 innings. What can Lucknow do better?
Be a lot more consistent with the bat. Simple as that. And they need to rely on their quality players to lead from the front. You talk about Quinton de Kock. He's one of the greats of the IPL. He's been very successful for a long period of time. So, for him to step up and show the form that we know that he's got will be important for Lucknow. KL Rahul will be obviously hungry for runs. He's always hungry for runs. They need to solve the number 3 position, which has been an ongoing issue. And that's not through any fault of their own. They've recruited well. Impadikal has come across from Rajasthan. That was seen as a good recruitment. He's been given 5 games at number 3, failed to impress. They've given Huda 1 go in that position, and he's failed. So, they need to get that number 3 sorted out and just, I suppose, getting that consistency with their finishing, making sure that they're in a strong position to be able to finish games well.
What's the fix for you, Wasim? The domestic batters haven't clicked. You've got in Stoinis and Pooran, 2 batters who've made the runs, Pooran in particular, who you often feel come in later. Would the fix right now be moving one of them up to number 3?
Well, I think Stoinis probably is better off batting at number 3, even though Pooran is good enough batter to bat at 3, but you want that guy who can finish games, and Pooran is their go-to guy. I feel in that lineup, Pooran is such an important guy after KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock. So you don't want to expose him too early, but there's a good chance that he comes in at number 3 and plays majority of the balls. But I feel Stoinis, because he plays the pace well, so I feel number 3 could suit him. And then if the innings get going really well, then you can send Pooran up, or you could get Prerak Mankad. I feel like it's about time they give him an opportunity. And then your Krunals and Ayush Badoni, I feel that's the order I'll probably go with.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But when you look at Nicholas Pooran's numbers and his averages and his strike rates at all those positions, and it's no wonder everyone's talking about trying to push him up the order, because his average at the top is significant. We've seen him score hundreds when he's batting at 3 or 4. So he's a luxury to have in your side. The problem they have is that they don't have any genuine finishers if he gets out, and that's a concern. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I like what you're talking about, Stoinis at the top. I think he's more of a top 3 batter in T20 cricket than he is a finisher. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what strategy they take, whether they want to bat or bowl first. I feel like they haven't been able to defend those totals, and the batting order is out of form, but they also don't seem to know what pace to go when they're setting. So maybe a change of tactic and end up batting second and know what tempo you're going to go at or have to go at is going to be a good thing for them if they win the toss.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened. Lucknow have won the toss and they've elected to bowl. They had that proud record. They were 13 out of 13 defending 160 plus totals till a week back, but now they've lost twice in succession doing so. Just coming back to Pooran, Tom, given everything we've addressed about Lucknow's batting, does it feel like a lot rests on Pooran if their season is to be a success?
If that's the case, it's a problem, because you can't have a one-man show. It's more about not Nicholas Pooran, it's more around the other players around Nicholas Pooran. As we saw that graphic, Nicholas Pooran, you can put him anywhere, he'll score runs at a good strike rate. So ideally you'd like to have 4 or 5 Nicholas Poorans and then you've solved your problem. But that's not possible. So to me it's not Nicholas Pooran, it's around his role. You could argue either way, he could bat anywhere from 1 to 7, but in this side he's probably a good fit at 5. It's the heavy lifting the other players need to do to enable him to, continue to do what he's been doing consistently, and then they'll start winning games. So, it's easy to sort of point the finger at Nicholas Pooran and put all the responsibility there, but it's not. It's for me, it's the other players.
That's a great point, because the previous game against KKR, they looked like they were leaving it up to Pooran to get them to 180, 190, where he didn't have his best game. And his best game is striking at 140. And they're setting up to expect him to strike at 180, 190, which he's been doing. So, you're right. They need to take ownership in those other roles and take the pressure off Nicholas Pooran.
So often in a team that's faltering in their batting, your top order tend to look sideways instead of straight ahead. And that's what, they need to be doing as a batting unit, is getting all their top order to start looking straight ahead into what they can do to impact the game, against worrying about the fact that, we've got such and such to come in yet, I've got such and such also to come in, and worrying about all those things that don't actually relate to what's in their control. What's in their control is the very next ball that they're facing and how they can impact that ball to benefit their side.
While we are on Nicholas Pooran, let's get back into game territory. Every bowling attack is looking for ways to counter Nicholas Pooran, how to stop that threat. Chennai have in their ranks one bowler who tends to get him out quite often. Now, when you see these numbers up on the screen, gentlemen, you will see that there is no bowler in that matchup. I want you to take a guess. Which Chennai bowler?
Shardul Thakur, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Not even letting the question finish.
Shardul Thakur.
Slightly late on that, Mitch. The points will be split between the two of you. It is Shardul Thakur. 5 dismissals in 5 innings.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting the toss right, we will confirm team news in just a bit. I believe Shardul Thakur misses out today. So that obvious threat is not there.
They haven't obviously looked on Cricinfo and the Stats Guru to work that out. That's a massive mistake.
You're saying teams do that?
Of course they do.
They should, if they're not already. Start taking note of our impact player as well.
All right, so then
They've got such a big staff, they could assign one guy to watch the shows.
We do know some of the teams are watching our shows if social media posts are to go by. We do have team news ready. Let's see how Lucknow are lining up for this one. Lucknow, who will be bowling first after having won the toss. They make one change. And there is a new addition, Matt Henry. They've been rotating their overseas fast bowler. Naveen ul Haq had been playing. Shamar Joseph got a debut, which wasn't one to remember. But now, Mitch, Matt Henry into the mix.
Yeah, the fast bowlers, right arm fast bowlers are on a merry-go-round, aren't they? Trying to find which one's going to fit. And look, Matt Henry, his previous stint in the IPL wouldn't have been up to his liking. Unfortunately for him, he was expensive and didn't get an opportunity after those couple of performances. But since then, he's turned himself into a much better white ball cricketer. His ability at the top to just hit that length, that really difficult length, that top of the stumps length, with a little bit of seam movement back into off stump, makes him a challenge with the new ball. So I think he'll be, I know him, he'll be raring to go. He'll be fizzed up and he'll come out firing.
What Mitch says is something the Lucknow opener will know all too well, because Matt Henry doing the damage with the new ball is something KL Rahul has seen up front in a key game.
Yeah, he does. And like Mitch said, he's improved as a bowler. In the leagues that he has played, I think he's taken that responsibility, and he bowls in those all three phases. He's a much better death bowler. And I think it's a good addition. I'm surprised they've left out Shamar Joseph after one game. But Matt Henry is a good inclusion.
Yeah, I think in the Blast he was top wicket taker, or might have been right up there. So his ability at the top to break partnerships is significant, and that's what they're going to need today to keep Chennai to a total.
Would you have wanted to give Shamar Joseph another game?
I think in an ideal world, yes, but I think this is a condition-based selection. I think Matt Henry at Lucknow, if I'm reading what the conditions have been like and may be like, is going to be more suited to someone that's a control bowler that hits the top of the stumps with a new ball, that just can get a little bit of movement, and I think he could quite easily end up bowling 3 if he's on a roll in the power play. He's that type of bowler. So I think it's more condition-based, because ideally if you have a slowish wicket, you don't want to offer the opposition pace. It's the last thing you want to do. So I just think it's more of a selection based around what they need today.
Yeah, just going by the pitch report, which was done by Aaron Finch, he said it is the red soil surface that they're using, and Aaron Finch said at the pitch report that it looks a bit drier than what we've seen, expected to hold a little. Let's take you through the Chennai Super Kings lineup. There are quite a few changes coming in there. You see a game for Moeen Ali at the expense of Daryl Mitchell, and Deepak Chahar returns in place of Shardul Thakur, despite those poor run matchups. Wasim, how do you expect that to play out?
Well, I'm surprised that Daryl Mitchell has been left out, but I can understand, seeing that it's a red soil pitch, so they will probably need the spin of Moeen Ali, and that's what they do. It's a bigger ground for the spinners, and that's how Chennai operate in the middle overs. So I can understand why they've gone through that route. Deepak Chahar is a good addition with the new ball, without a doubt, but knowing that the matchup with Puran, because he's their X-factor player, but you would always want Deepak Chahar in your side to bowl with that new ball.
It throws in a few little interesting components to this game and how it's going to play out. With Quinton de Kock opening the batting, you could see Moeen Ali take the new ball as an option, and I think what they've been missing is that I think maybe what they're setting themselves up for is, if Dube doesn't come off in a game, who is going to provide that impetus in the middle order for them to really kick on? And Daryl Mitchell has had a lot of opportunity to come in and try and do that, and he's just been a little bit out of form. That's all it's been. He's a quality player. They picked him up because he was a quality player, and he just hasn't been able to have the impact that Chennai would have liked. So Moeen Ali, I mean, he averages early 20s, strikes at 140, so he's not going to hold back when he gets out there. So I think maybe they're just covering that spot of Dube's.
It also tells you that selection of just how good Pathirana and Mustafizur have been as a pair, because you'd have imagined coming into the season that whenever Chennai want to get a spinner in, it's Tikshana, but now you're retaining that overseas fast bowling duo and letting go of Mitchell to accommodate Moeen.
Yeah, I think they're just wanting to soak up as much of the fizz as they can while he's available. He's only here until the 1st of the next month, so until he goes away on Bangladesh duty. So, yeah, it is an interesting one. When I look at that lineup, their batting 11, it concerns me a little bit, the depth and quality, not quality so much, but just the depth of that batting lineup. Rahane hasn't been in his greatest of form. Rachin Ravinder has gone missing of recent times. started off well. Moeen Ali hasn't played a competitive game for some time. Dube has been on fire. Jadeja's been average. Dhoni's been on fire, but he's only come very much at the end of the innings. So maybe we might be seeing MS Dhoni with that batting lineup actually shift up the order and come in around about the 15th over, 16th over, because it just doesn't look to have the depth and the form in that batting lineup you'd like.
Does it surprise you in that sense? Towards the start of the season, the Chennai batting lineup, the batting 11, used to have Sameer Rizvi. Now, when you look at this lineup, it ends at 7. Early in the season, they were happy enough to have Rizvi in and have Dhoni at number 8, or at least designated at number 8. Is that something they needed to continue with, given what Tom says about their batting?
Yeah, but who can they accommodate? That's the thing. Who does he come in place of? I mean, Ajinkya Rahane probably will open again. I don't know what his injury status is. But if he opens, then Ruturaj comes in at 3. And then I think Dube is such an important player for them. And I just feel that what Tom and Mitch said, the form of 2 and 3 players are key in that CSK lineup. And those guys, if they don't perform, CSK tends to struggle. And MS doesn't come before the 18th over. So that's the problem. If Dube gets out, we don't see that impetus in that inning. So that's the key to CSK batting lineup.
And that's the opportunity for Lucknow.
Yeah.
That's the real opportunity. If they, in the first 10 overs, can have them 4 down, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, we've already spoken so much about Shivam Dube. Let's dig straight into what is so likely to be the defining matchup, at least from the first innings of this game, because Shivam Dube against spin has been a different league altogether since the start of last season. These are his numbers, no longer over a small sample. To be striking at 180 over 20 innings tells you something of how he's doing. And like Wasim points out, Mitch, just that responsibility on him to carry Chennai is increasing with almost every passing game.
And I reckon every time he walks out to the crease now, his shoulders are pulled back even more, the chest's out a little bit further. He's really turning into a quality middle order player, and there's pressures that have mounted on that, and he's still performing. The pressures of people starting to say he should be in the starting lineup for the World Cup coming up, and we haven't seen him falter. And that stuff does affect players when the peripheral stuff starts coming in, particularly when it's leading up to World Cup. And he's just gone from strength to strength. The interesting one will be is where do Lucknow bowl their spinners. Their spinners' economies have been very good so far throughout this tournament, and it's how they manage Kunal and Bishnoi around Shivam Dube, because he's been a major threat to any spinner, regardless of the quality.
Yeah, we'll bring up those Lucknow spin numbers, because Ravi Bishnoi and Krunal Pandya, as Mitch points out, economies are excellent, both under 8. Not a lot of wickets between them. Tom, we saw MI the other day. Shreyas Gopal was bowling well, but Dube has almost built this reputation now that teams just don't want to throw spin to him. Lucknow, with these two, don't really have that option. You do have to bowl them.
Yeah, I don't mind Bishnoi as a match-up against Dube. Generally, he'll bowl across him. He gets the ball to keep reasonably low because he's short in stature. He'll skid it across him. He'll ask him to hit across that angle. Dube has shown that he's got the capability of hitting over cover as well, but that'll be a tough shot to play. So you can adjust your field to plug that hole by straightening up your cover and giving him, trying to force him to play square of the wicket on the offside when the ball is skidding across and keeping low, or try to hit against that angle. When it comes to Pandya, I'd just keep him in the bookcase for now, whilst that matchup is potentially there. I wouldn't be inviting that opportunity, because you pretty much know what the answer is going to be, given the history of what Dube's done over recent times. Yeah,
and Bishnoi versus Dube last season when they played at Chepauk, I think Dube hit him for 2 sixes, but then Bishnoi got him out. He had the last laugh. How do you expect Bishnoi to deal with Dube, who's in even better form now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Bishnoi bowling to him, because he generally bowls good to the left-handers, because the pace that he bowls, and then he takes it away. So it's not easy. Dube does hit over long off. I mean, he's not somebody who's always going to go cow corner or mid wicket. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Could be a decisive one for either of the side. I mean, not so much for Chennai because he's expected to hit. But if he gets Dube out, it brings Lucknow in the game.
Right. Focusing on the Chennai bowling now, Matisha Pathirana has been the star for them. Missed a few games, but every time he's been around, especially last time at the Wankhede, you saw what he could do. And his numbers this season show not just where he does operate. At the death, the wickets aren't that high, but in the middle overs, he's had a lot more impact, which is not something we saw last season, did we, Tom?
No, and it's interesting that sort of, as those numbers sit as they do at the moment, I think it'll look a little bit different come the end of the tournament, because I think just the way he bowls in the back end sort of invites the opportunity for him to continue to take wickets. It's a bit like Bravo, who was, designated death bowler, who was always going to be in line with taking numerous wickets because of that. But I think that just shows the growth of Pathirana, the cricketer. He's continued to show that he's upskilled with his slower ball, he's upskilled with his consistency of his length and line, and his decision making, which is the most important thing. When you're a young fast bowler, you don't have that sort of experience and that backlog of experience where you can call upon, making sure you're making the right decisions under pressure. And he seems to be a lot more comfortable in his role in CSK, and he's growing rapidly.
And the onus on Pathirana is only going to increase more once Fizz leaves, which is only a couple of games from now.
Yeah, it will. I guess he won't be used in any different manner. They'll bring in Tighshana or Gleeson, who will just fit into that role that Mushtafa Fazur has been doing. Mushtafa Fazur has been bowling two overs in a power play, one in the middle and one at the end. So that I'd expect Tighshana or Richard Gleeson to fit into that mould. So I don't think there'll be any added pressure, but like Tom alluded to, I think those numbers towards the death will improve. But what has been great is that when he's been in the middle, he's been that bowler. And T20 is so critical that if you're brought on to take wickets, you take a wicket and then you take another wicket. And that's what the best do. If you can take 2 wickets quickly in that middle phase, it absolutely derails a batting lineup.
And that could hold even more true for this Lucknow batting lineup, which, as we've already pointed, barring those few big names, has not had the best of times.
Yes, they haven't, and it's about time that they come good. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup, and it's about time, like we spoke. This is the time in the tournament you don't want to lag behind in the table.
Speaking of the table, it's time for the table when none of you want to lag behind. Your picking time begins soon. Let's head into the impact zone. You know the drill by now. Each expert picks 3 players from each game, a batter, a bowler and a wild card. Impact points for each player count as per ESPN Cricinfo's Smart Stats, and the expert with the highest points tally for each match gets 3 points in their season tally. Those 3 points have added up quite neatly for Mitch McClenaghan over the last few days and seen his rating. The spot hasn't gone up, but the rating has, Mitch. You were in the 1.6, 1.7
No.
3 days ago. Yes,
That's
you were.
rubbish.
You were.
That is rubbish.
You were at 1.6 a few days ago. You are now
You've
shading
actually benefited from me from not being on the show. So it's hard for me to move now. That's unfortunate.
That's not true. Keep racking up the wins and you keep moving up.
Probably need to get a few out.
It's a bit like
picks.
yeah, but it's very similar to RCB trying to find themselves into the finals of the IPL in 2024.
Don't put my name in the same sentence as RCB.
Wow, that was a zinger. So let's get straight to the picks. Who was, I believe, Wasim, you finished lower.
I was the last, yes.
I was the lowest. Yeah. But anyway, you
by dint of not being on the show. But let's go with you, Wasim.
I'm going to go with the batters, so
Okay.
I'm going to go KL Rahul.
KL Rahul for Wasim. Tom.
I'll go with Nicholas Puran.
Mitch.
We're not supposed to go that way.
Just-
I missed out on Nicholas. Okay, I'll go Shivam Dube.
So Rahul Puran Dube. Let's go to Tom.
I will go with Jadeja.
Going to go with I'm going to go with Matt Henry.
Wasim, your bowler.
Pathirana.
Pathirana for Wasim. Into the wildcards, starting with you, Mitch.
Wildcards. Oh, I've pretty much stuffed this up already, haven't I?
You'll have the team.
I'm going to go with... Has someone gone Bishnoi?
Nope.
I'll go Bishnoi.
Bishnoi for Mitch. Wasim.
I'm going to go Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali. Tom, final call to you.
I'm going to go with Quinton de Kock.
Quinton de Kock. All right. So I'll confirm. Wasim Jaffer has KL Rahul, Matisha Pathirana and Moeen Ali. Mitch, you've got Shivam Dube, Matt Henry and Ravi Bishnoi. And Tom has Nicholas Puran, Ravindra Jadeja and Quinton de Kock. Let's get into predictions territory now. And I know both of you had more than just your outrageous predictions going on last night. Doesn't make the job easy for scorers.
No, it doesn't. Well, my first prediction is that I'm not going to move up that table after the three people that I just picked. Thanks for putting me last. Appreciate that. My outrageous pick is that Chennai will get through to 185 and Lucknow will chase it down. 185, let's say 185 score, and Quinton de Kock will fire at the top and get 60 off.
He's going to
42.
bat in the second inning, isn't it?
Oh, is that second innings? It is two.
You can
You're
make the
right.
first innings.
Shivam Dube, because I've got him, he's going to get 60 off 30.
60 of 30. All right. Tom.
I will go something similar to that, but I'll go Nicholas Puran to get 60 off 30.
And your score?
So we'll have a bit of a match-off against the two power left-handers.
That's far more outrageous than you usually go.
My score is... just need to look at the table again. My score is 172.
172 says Tom. Wasim?
I say score 185, around 185.
Oh, that's the same for both of you.
Is it? So I'll go 180.
I said 182, didn't I?
You said 185.
Oh, that's
We
right.
can
I'll
change
change to 182. That's fine.
182.
185.
You are 185. All right. You're
And,
outrageous, Wasim.
Outrageous, I would say Dube not scoring more than 15.
15?
15.
Yeah.
Don't be
1-5.
under 15. That's fine.
How can you do that?
That's not outrageous.
It's
He's the
Less
red
than
hot
15.
property now.
Yeah, but it's 12. 12's the max we've had, isn't it?
So 10 or 12 is the
10
range.
or 12's the range.
12
12.
balls and 10 runs.
12.
We've had a few 12s, you'd remember. So
Those
under
balls,
12.
I think.
I'm accepting under 12.
Oh,
I think
jeez.
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
For
it's
an
an
informed bet.
interesting one, and I know we've probably got to wrap this up, but being more of a middle order player against a top order player, which is when we've done those predictions, you'd think the ball should be a little bit shorter, given that they don't tend to face as many balls.
But I think you're saying his score is under 12.
He'll get out before 12.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's saying balls, isn't it, or runs?
Runs.
No, runs.
Oh, runs.
Under
Less than
12
12 runs.
Less
Okay.
than 12.
And if he hits 2 sixes in the first 6 balls, you lose all your points.
Yes, let's make the job even easier for the scorers.
So there's a jackpot happening there.
Yeah, good luck me.
And
handling
he
these
gets
points.
all the points
Oh,
from
yeah,
Wasim.
they can just, 100%.
Just give him the trophy.
I will wish you well with the picks you have made. I am hoping your fellow New Zealander delivers points for you. And we'll pick up the conversation at halftime with these gentlemen. In the meantime, if you haven't already, be sure to download the ESPN Cricket Info mobile app. It will have you covered with everything from in and around the IPL and the rest of the world of cricket. That's it for now. Be sure to join us once Chennai's innings is done on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the